Facebook betting its future on betting. The social media giant releasing an app for online gambling. They're calling it Bingo Frenzy rather. People in the UK, they're going to be able to bet real cash. But wealth manager Lee Munson says this is going to be a real crapshoot for them. I got to tell you, Lee, I'm not sure this is why the stock was down today, but in a day when the market had a pretty good session, once again, Facebook taking it on the chin. But is this a sign of desperation?
I think it is. And you know what? I think it's important to note the market did well. Facebook didn't. You would think that Wall Streeters would love the idea that Marky Z and his funky bunch in Silicon Valley is going to prey upon people in the UK in the gambling, because here's what it really tells you. Number one, it's dubious. Number two, it cheapens the brand. And number three, I have a friend who's a professional poker player online. The UK is saturated. This is a mature market, and I worry, would Mark do this if he wasn't a publicly traded company? It doesn't make sense for the brand.
So, the Facebook, everyone says 900 million users, they can't lose, and yet this has been a complete, total disaster since the IPO.
Well, it is, because it's 900 million users. Please, my father's on Facebook. Why? Because he signed up for an account a couple years ago. He's never been on it. He doesn't click on any ads. Those 900 million users are just people who signed up and logged on, but they aren't real. The real thing with Facebook is, how are they going to increase ad revenue? And when you look through the prospecti and you ask them, how are you going to deal with those mobile apps? My wife loves getting on her iPhone and looking at Facebook on her iPhone. There's no ads on it. How's Facebook going to make a couple pennies on it? They can't. And so they're grasping at straws. I think this is a very dubious thing, especially right after they want to let 10-year-olds and tweens be on Facebook. Now they're talking about doing a bingo friendly. I think it sends the wrong message to shareholders, and I think Wall Street was not impressed.
Well, you know what? I didn't get a chance to see what drove the stock down, if anything, on the surface. But you would think, again, the UK, it's a hotbed for gambling. We do know online gambling itself has been a huge, gigantic business outside of America. And, common sense would say, you know what? Not a bad deal. Shouldn't send the stock lower. So maybe professional investors are looking beneath the surface and saying, you know what? If this is it, guys, it's not good enough.
Well, I totally agree with you, Charles. I think that Wall Street, this is a whimper. It's too hard to break into that UK market, especially with some bingo product. It's not like they're going to get into the US. And I think that what it really says is that they're desperate. They don't know what to do with online ad revenue. They don't know how to monetize their system. And I think more than ever, it sends the wrong message to investors that they do not have a plan. Remember, a couple years back when Google went public, they did a lot of weird things like buying wind farms and things that we didn't understand. But below the surface, we got it. They need electricity to power all those servers. With Facebook, I don't understand why they're doing this. It's going to be harder than you think to make money off those degenerate gamblers in the UK. Unless, of course, you're just trying to draw people in with a friendly little bingo game that, believe me, it's going to trickle down to younger people. It's going to cause a big PR problem.
Lee, before I let you go, what might get you interested in this stock as something to buy or invest in?
Having a clue about how the guys are going to get my wife to click on mobile apps on her iPhone. Because until that happens, everybody's going to those mobile apps. So when the stock is half the price it is now, and they actually have a clue, and there's a little bit of desperation, I might get interested.
What about new management?
Well, I don't think management is the problem. I think the problem is that they simply don't have an idea. So, yeah, if you bring in new management and they can figure out how to monetize it, great. I think the current management just needs the idea, and they have a founder here that clearly isn't really interested in making money. And where is he? Does he really think that this is something good for his child, his little baby, is to do gambling in the UK? I think if you asked him offline, he would say, I don't like it, but we got to post earnings next quarter, and we have to tell people a story about how we're going to make 30% off of every buck that's lost.
Yeah, I got to tell you, when I said new management, I was actually talking about the founder, but you answered it clearly. Hey, Lee, thanks a lot. We appreciate your insights as usual.
Thanks, Charles.
All right.